Everyone is broke right now. Don't even try to deny it, okay? You're broke, okay? If you're watching this, you're broke. I'm broke. Everyone watching is broke right now. All right, don't pretend. And that is all because of Donald Trump. Make no mistake. The economy was not in tip-top shape before he took office. I'll grant that, but oh my god, has he done nothing to help it and a whole lot to hurt it. And this isn't just, oh, well, the president's the president, so that means everything that he does, it has an effect on the economy, which is basically what they were arguing when Biden was president, saying he was destroying the economy. They had no actual arguments to make as to how he was doing that, but all that aside, let's look at what Trump is actually doing that is costing America and Americans billions of dollars cumulatively. Because across the board, Trump has made terrible economic policy decisions when it comes to tariffs, when it comes to war and foreign policy, and most importantly, the effects all of that has had on our relations with other countries and the fact that America is a service economy that needs people. We need people here who are buying things, buying services, and importantly, tourists who visit and employ the services of our service economy. That is the lifeblood of America, and Trump is bleeding it dry. Ooh, that was smooth, wasn't it? That was clean. Sheesh. Anyway, how is Trump costing Americans? Let's find out.
You know, when we're talking about the Trump administration, the bill has come due. The cost to Americans, billions have been lost since Trump took office. We're talking about tariffs, the Iran war. We're talking about tourism. And we're going to go through it because I have looked through hundreds, if not thousands, of data points to find out, boom, what is the bill when it comes both to the do-re-mi as well as the cost in public opinion.
I love this guy. Holy shit, he's got some good energy. Where has this guy been this whole time?
Not just here in the United States, but around the globe. And we're going to start off with tariffs. Take a look here. Okay, the loss to GDP in 2025, Trump's tariffs. Look at this. We're talking about $180 billion,
Keep in mind, by the way, this wasn't like a, oh my god, who could have predicted that Trump's tariffs would do this? Going back to pre-Trump's election in 2016, I'm not joking, the heavy tariffing thing has been part of Trump's policies. And Republicans have defended the idea of tariffing entire industries, and now Trump's done blanket entire, like, across all industries tariffs, on blanket across whole countries, which is unprecedented. But even before that, Trump tariffed steel, for instance, which has been overwhelmingly agreed upon to be a foolish, massive, stupid idea because Trump doesn't understand how tariffs work. It took him, I don't even know, I still don't know if he knows. I don't know if he realizes that tariffs are not taxing another country. It's taxing your own country for imports from that country, or from other countries. So, yeah, we're dealing with a real idiot here. Only the tariffs, just the tariffs, have cost that much money for Americans. It is unbelievable how avoidable this was. If Trump had done nothing but golf, all this would be not a problem. This massive red billions would not be in the red. We'd be in the black on that.
$80 billion with a B. That is eye-popping. But it's not just the do-re-mi. It's, of course, the court of public opinion as well. And take a look here. Okay, we're talking about our allies, right? The net approval rating of Trump on tariffs. Look at this. In Canada, we're talking 65 points underwater for our neighbors in the north. They hate the tariffs. Hate. Now, of course, we're talking about the first.
I'm surprised that Germany and France have dropped more than Canada. Maybe Canada was already at a pretty low favorability point. Maybe it, like, wasn't that high to begin with, so this is a pretty catastrophic fall, even if it's a lower fall than the other two, France and Germany. Still, though, this is catastrophic. Like, this is America is canceled in the international community level catastrophic. This is America posted cringe, and now we're losing subscriber level bad.
First ally really for the United States when it was born all the way back in 1776, 250 years ago. Look at this, 74 points underwater. But you think that's low? You ain't seen nothing yet. We're talking about Germany. Look at this, 83 points underwater.
They hate
Woof.
us.
Now, you know what? It would be one thing. It'd be one thing if there was the cost to America and the Allies didn't like it, but maybe Americans liked it. But do we like new tariffs? No, we don't. No, we don't. Look at this. Okay, U.S.
We'll be going into this later in the stream with a dedicated segment on it, but the GOP is screwed. Let's be completely real. This might be the last major election the GOP wins in our lifetimes. Think about that. The effect that this economic turmoil might have on the representation of the GOP, the Republican Party might try to rename itself just to get some different brand recognition, just to try to escape it. This is really, really bad for them. Keep in mind, the vast majority of moderates voted for Trump because they were convinced that he would fix the economy. They bought his lies. This really loses a lot of people who were at one point centrist moderates who were like, yeah, I'll vote Republican this time around. You know, let's shake things up. Biden doesn't seem to be doing a good job. The lesson learned from this is severe. And I know a lot of you guys are like, America's cooked. People are stupid. You really think so? I've seen it. I've felt it. Okay? There is a very clear shift in our culture happening right now where we went from that like peak anti-woke era the last couple years. It's starting to swing back towards the left. I think you guys are starting to feel it. We're not like swinging hard and fast at the moment towards the left, but you can feel that like the momentum, at the very least the momentum at which we've been shifting right, has slowed substantially. We've started to begin our acceleration to the left. Well, that's stage right, but yeah. Anyway, flipped camera, okay? Give me a break.
Yes, Americans on new tariffs on imported goods. You know, you go back to November of 2024, look at this. 52% of Americans favored it, 48% opposed. Well, now we are in a completely different world. Yes, we are. We come back to the screen here. In 2026, look at this.
Keep in mind, this is economic policy. This is Trump's bread and butter, okay? The only reason his immigration policy is so popular is because Trump has made people believe that his immigration policy will solve America's economic problems. It didn't. It was a lie. He convinced people that it wasn't racism. That wasn't why we need to get rid of people who aren't white and immigrants and whatnot. It's for the economy. And now the economy's worse. And you have the left who's been arguing this whole time, actually, immigration makes the economy better because America has a service-based economy and more people. I mean, economists show overwhelmingly, there's an overwhelming consensus that immigration helps the U.S. economy. And they're like, shut up, you nerds. Shut up. We don't care. And then, of course, this is what happens. You didn't listen to those leftist nerds telling you what the economists were saying.
63% of Americans oppose these new tariffs on imported goods. That's up 15 points. Meanwhile, down we go. 37% now favor it. We're right into the Hudson River right here in New York in terms of the favor on tariffs. Now, in terms of the cost to Americans, the cost to you, the American consumer, look at this. Okay, what are we talking about? Total tariff cost paid by Americans, $231 billion with a B per household. We're talking about a little bit less than $2,000 per household. Woof. And that's just
because, sorry, Trump supporters, but it's just a fact. The other countries are not getting taxed. That's not what tariffs are. You're getting taxed. Well, not technically. The retailers are getting taxed when they import their cargo, their stock, to be put on shelves. When they import that into the country, because it's manufactured elsewhere, they have to pay a tax on it. More just to ship it in. Where do you think, what are you going to do when you're paying more just to ship your goods into the country to be sold on shelves? You're going to raise the prices, and everybody is going to have to pay a higher price, and that's what happened. And the left tried to warn you, Trump supporters, and you said, well, you thought, I guess, that you knew better.
Between February 2025 and January 2026. Now, I spoke about the tariffs, right? But it's not just the tariffs where the bill is coming due, right? It's about the war in Iran as well. And look here, okay, again, look at the allies. Net approval, Trump's handling of Iran. Look at this. In the UK, 50 points under water right into the Atlantic Ocean. That's what we're talking about. But you
Dude, why is Italy so based? Holy shit, Italy is mad at us. Oh god, we pissed them off. They're like, "Abapade boop, Trump, what are you doing? This is all ridiculous." I'm so sorry.
think that's low? Look at Japan. Look at Japan right into the Pacific Ocean, 57 points underwater. But again, you ain't seen nothing yet because the Italians, look at the Italians. Trump's handling of Iran, 70 points underwater.
Why do you go to war with Iran? What the hell, Trump? Abapade boopy.
You never see numbers like this. You never see numbers like this. But our allies pretty much all agree they do not like Trump's handling of Iran. And look at this, the median of 36 foreign countries, 54 points underwater. Oi, oi, oi. And you know what? It's having an impact here at home as well. Look at this. Look at Trump's approval rating. Look at him. Okay.
You know what? You know what it is? The Italians found out that when Trump makes pasta, when he makes spaghetti, and he's got his angel hair pasta, he snaps it in half before boiling it. Yep. Italy found out about that. They're not pleased.
Okay, Trump net approval on the issues, the economy, which was a strength during term number 1. He was 6 points above water. I do love Henry Winkler. I love the font. 6 points above water. Now, what are we talking about? 20 points underwater. Down we go. Down we go. And on foreign policy, look at the decline. He wasn't in too hot a shape back in June of 2018, 9 points underwater. But now, Trump is 22 points underwater, right into any body of water that you want to think of. He's down there with the Little Mermaid. That's really the bottom line.
Like, I don't think people realized how cooked the Republican Party is after Trump's presidency here. Don't get me wrong, there's still going to be deep blood red states and blood red areas, but man, I mean, right now you're seeing DSA candidates with some pretty wacky, controversial, like, opinions. Like obviously Mamdani is a fucking treasure, but you know, like Chevalier's had some weird takes, and she's probably not believing most of that stuff, but when it comes to politics, having had publicly any kind of really out there crazy takes before tends to affect your ability to get elected. And in her case, it doesn't seem like it did. So we're seeing DSA like socialist, or at least I guess democratic socialist, but you know, I'd say they're probably socialist, but they can't really be super open about it. You know, they're legit. Regardless, though, we're seeing socialists win elections in the deepest blue areas, which has not really happened before. Like Bernie kind of established himself as a more socialist-y candidate later into his tenure. So it's really unprecedented what's been happening right now. Like Mamdani getting elected mayor in New York, the congressional candidates we've seen win around particularly New York. Like, I think that what we're seeing a rise in the far left that directly correlates to the fall off of the populist right. You know what I mean? And I say far left for America, you know, because in America, being like a Democrat, like a very standard liberal Democrat, is considered left.
And you know what? It's not just about the public opinion, right? Again, let's go back to the cost. Let's go back to the cost. Look at this, the military spending. Look at this, U.S. military spending on the war. About or even more than $72 billion. $72 billion. Now, I will point out, you know, this probably will add some jobs later on in the year for arms manufacturers, but I'll ask you whether or not you...
Would it really later on in the year? Because we have such a massive, overabundant stockpile of weapons, munitions, vehicles. Like, we have such a massive reserve of all that stuff that we have to deplete so much of it by either giving it away or using it for war before we can start getting the presses going again, so to speak, and get, like, war manufacturing going, which is always an economical boom, whichever you like. It's always a big boom to the economy whenever we start manufacturing for war, but because of the way that America operates, we usually have to really deplete our reserves before we start manufacturing much new. And that's why it wasn't really that big of a deal that we were giving so much aid, lethal aid to Ukraine. Because, I mean, once we run out, let's say we give them all of what we have in our stockpiles, then we just start making more. It creates a shitload of jobs, and the economy actually bounces back a little bit because of that. But yeah, most conservatives are dumb.
You think that the cost is
What am I
worth
saying?
that.
They all
Well,
are.
the cost is worth that. But of course, what about Americans themselves? How much do-re-mi? How much do-re-mi are we really talking about? Well, how about this? The cost of the Iran war on Americans, you know, the gas hikes, the food, etc. We're talking, get this, about $134 billion, perhaps even more than that, and that's at a cost of a hundred, no, it's more than that, $1,000 per house.
So keep in mind, we're seeing like cumulatively, on average, households are being are paying thousands of dollars so far into Trump's presidency more because of these economic issues that Trump has caused. Like you can see, for each of these issues, we're seeing the calculated amount of money per household that they have had to pay more than they normally would because of these issues. This is adding up quick. Like, no wonder everybody is struggling right now because, God, one of these issues on its own would have people struggling. This is borderline Great Depression level. We're in a bad spot right now. Holy God. Can Trump please just golf, bro? Just golf, man. Welcome, Tyler. Can Trump just golf? Like, genuinely. If he just went and golfed, we'd be fine right now. The tariff policy, the war in Iran, at this point, I honestly feel like he could just leave the State Department to handle negotiations with Iran. I don't even know, like, bribe Netanyahu with 1 million blowjobs if he has to get all conflict with Iran to stop, because goddamn, we cannot keep doing this. All right, this has to stop. Jesus Christ.
Household. It's this type of stuff. It really just gets me very hot and heated. So, Maury, if you would. Oh, yeah.
Wait, is this
a
sponsored?
limited edition Dr. Pepper
What?
creamy coconut. This will cool me down.
That cost $4.70 right now, believe it or not. Thanks, Trump. I'm probably not that far off.
That's good.
Like a monster's
Maury.
like $3.
Anyway, now I'm energized and ready to go, and I think the hit of caffeine will also help me. Look at this. Again, we spoke about it earlier. It's not just about tariffs. It's not just the war in Iran. How about tourism? Total visitors dropped by 4 million in 1 year. From 2024, it was 72.3 million. Now, look at this. Whoop! 68.3 million. 68.3 million. And you know where we hit the hardest? It's our neighbors to the north. It's our neighbors to the north. Look, Canadian visits. Canadian visits.
Dude, they are boycotting us. Oh no. Those Maple Leaf people, they hate us. Oh yeah, we do have to blame Canada. They're at fault. No, they're blaming us. And honestly, I can't blame them too much, to be honest. We are tariffing any imports from Canada, which hurts their economy a little bit, but then they tariff us back, and because the nature of the Canadian economy compared to the American economy and what props our economy up being service, well, tariffing us doesn't hurt them. But us tariffing them is just kind of like us shooting ourselves in the kneecap. All the while, they're also boycotting America and American products, which of course means we're not getting their tourism, they're not buying American products off of shelves, they've got this Buy Canadian movement, and honestly, I mean, it's making an impact.
Woo! Down the St. Lawrence River, that's what we're talking about in 2025, from 2024, down to 22%, down 22%. And it's an impact on U.S. jobs. And it's concentrated, tends to be concentrated in a few places. But look at this. Fewer Canadian visits means fewer U.S. jobs. We're talking about 14,000 to 42,000 fewer jobs.
I always, it's really easy to, understate or misunderstand how many jobs are created by these things that Republicans tend to demonize. You would assume, because the Republicans are kind of like the business money guys, right? Like they're the money party, they're the business party, they have business acumen. You would think that anything that maximizes the financial well-being of the country as a whole would probably be something they go for or in favor of. But they've allowed ideology to overwhelm their perceptions so badly that now they're willing to destroy the US economy by doing shit that economists do not debate whether or not immigration is good for America. It is so settled and obvious. It's like trying to wonder whether or not water is good for plants, right? Like, it is known. And yet here we have Republicans destroying countless jobs, leading, like, causing massive amounts of unemployment, destroying tourism, which is a massive source of income for many states in America. Like, everything across the board is worse now. Like one little issue, immigration. And now we've lost so much money. We've lost so much economic productivity. Tons of Americans lost employment. It's wild.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a real loss of jobs here. And you know, we're talking about tourist spending. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Look at this. We're talking about less of this stuff, less of this stuff, less do, re, mi being spent, less do, re, mi being spent. And by the way, I just love a $2 bill. I love a $2 bill. I don't know if this comes across on camera.
Bro had it too.
Look at this. The Declaration of Independence sign. That's what it's all about.
Every time you see a $2 bill, it's like, nice.
Here in our 250th anniversary. And you know what the tourist spending? Look at this. Loss in it. 8.4 billion dollars.
You know it's bad when that number is like, okay, that's not so bad. No, we've only lost 8.4 billion in that one area with Trump's economic decisions. Cool, okay, that's not too bad. All right.
And of course, you have to add it all up. You have to add it all up. And you know what? All right. We're going to add it all up. I got a nice little calculator. Here we go. Here we go. Yes. So we got 231 billion, 100.
What even is that?
And 34 billion, and then 8.4 billion. And what does it come to? What does it come to? Well,
too fucking much.
Let's take a look here. The total cost, $373 billion. $373 billion.
About $2,800 per household. If it feels like you're missing around $3,000 that you should have right now since Trump came into office, that's why. Now keep in mind that is an average. I'd be very curious to see if there are any major outliers that are dragging that average up or down. Like, I wonder if you start like canceling out some outliers, if the average, the real like normalized average, I guess you could say, would be even higher. I feel like it would have to be higher, right? Because I don't know. I don't know how it would be, but maybe.
That's between the tariffs, the Iran war, and tourism. We are talking about, get this, $2,784 per household. That's what we're talking about, $373 billion. Now, of course, this is just an estimate,
Yikes.
but I believe that this gets us into the ballpark of what we're talking about. Now, you know, yes, we're talking about green. We're talking about...
Are we accounting for, like, gas prices, too? I assume we'd have to be, right? Like, one of the big driving factors of this loss would have to be rising gas prices because the Strait of Hormuz is shut down. It's like a substantial amount of our imports of oil for energy production are just cut off right then and there.
About green. We're talking about money. But it's not just about the money that we have potentially that has been cost. It's not just about the bill that's coming due. What we're talking about here is places that we could be spending this money if you are not a fan of the tariffs, not a fan of the Iran war, not a fan of the loss in tourism. Here are some ideas where that money could be spent. Where could this money be spent? What it can buy, fund. Well, for $373 billion for the government, we could be talking about 2 or more years. 2 or more years.
Well, to be fair, that's not money the government lost. That's money the American people and American businesses lost. The government lost some of it because some of it would have been paid in taxes, but yeah, this is what Americans lost.
Of education department funding. which of course the funding of the education department's been going down. Now, of course, there are plenty of Republicans who don't like the education department, so maybe they like that the funding is going down. But what about you, the average American? Well, $2,784 per household. We're talking about 3 to 4 months of food for the median household. My goodness gracious.
Oof.
Now, folks, I've taken you through, this is the total cost, the total bill for the Iran war, for tourism, for tariffs. If you like what you saw...
Guys, I don't think people are going to deny the results of Trump's economic policy in the ballot box. I think they're going to vote, and their vote's going to be impacted by how everybody has been feeling about the economy for the last 2 years. Trump is cooked. And after Trump gets cooked, I think the Republican Party is cooked with him. Let's be real, the Trump cult, like the cult of personality around Trump, that's what's been propelling and propping up the Republican Party for a long time now. Once Trump is no longer relevant or in the picture anymore, I don't think they've got much of a plan. Like, do you have any idea how many elections are decided because Trump endorsed a candidate on like the lower level in more local elections? Like, when that guy's no longer relevant to the political scene anymore, you know, maybe he dies of coronary in the next few years or something. I don't know what the Republican Party's going to do. You know, like, is Trump Jr. speaking at CPAC going to draw a huge crowd like it used to? I don't think we're ever going to see a a peak Trump-sized crowd coming out for Republicans anytime soon ever again, pretty much. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below. It really does help a lot, and I appreciate it immensely. Subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications if you want to see more from me in the future. And of course, follow my socials linked down below, including joining my fan Discord if you haven't already, hang out in the main community, and what have you. And of course, I do hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.